Yeah, unfortunately not. We saw a lot of... Wait, what? Oh, right, yes. I didn't even register what you said initially.
It's okay.
I was like, yeah. Yeah, we saw a lot of TVPs, a lot of PvPs, but not a lot of ZvTs, which is why we're looking at it right now on Data Under the Sea. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in that bottom left-hand corner. We have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. We have Dark.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have his opponent, the South Korean Terran player, also representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming DPG. It is Cure.
Okay, arguably the matchup that I think is least affected, or will be least affected by the patch, mostly because they didn't do anything about lurkers. But well, we'll see if Cure or Dark have been able to find out, carve out a new playstyle here with the changes that they've made.
I thought I was here casting with Yaku, not Asher, bro. Oh my god, what are you talking about? Have you forgotten about the change to Broodlords and Ultras and Ghosts? Oh my, and Cyclones? Mate.
Yeah.
Mate.
Just good. Yeah.
You're an animal.
It's still not as good as lurkers.
Oh my god. So a lot of changes have been made to, more so than anything, the late game here in this matchup. So if we get to the late game, we're going to be able to see, buffed Ultras, buffed Broodlords, nerfed Ghosts as well. The Cyclone was changed to actually be a lot more effective if we do have Battle Mech or Ferrari Mech, just because Macfill Accelerators now does more base damage against everything, not just does less damage against armored specifically.
Yeah, and in fairness, Zerg doesn't have that many armored units. I think the idea in the past was you would get Cyclones to try to kite Ultralists or to try to deal with Broodlords, but because there were so many other better alternatives for Terran, Ghosts, there just never really was a reason to make Cyclones in TVZ. Now, though, with that change, we'll see. I mean, I imagine they'd be pretty good against Hydras.
Yeah, I mean, it does basically affect them mainly against Queens and Ravagers, right? If you're up against Battle Mech, you go Lingbane, Ravager, Infestor, for example, and you have a lot of Queens to defend. So, in general, it does kind of give a better opportunity for Battle Mech to be more viable, but it also comes down to the playstyle of the players, because I don't know how often Cure has really gone mech in TVZ.
Not too often. I think he did it once or twice, but whenever I think of Cure, I think of the timing attack Terran player, the player who is building up for a big 1-1 push with Bio, as opposed to going for mech.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Unfortunately, if we had Gumiho, I'd be like, oh, let's play some mech.
Yeah.
But Gumiho isn't here, so a bit of a feels bad, man. Instead, Cure, he's actually going for a 2-1-1.
Oh, okay, 2-on-1, but still producing a couple of Hellions, so an interesting take on this particular build, or on this particular opening.
Very interesting here. I'm almost feeling maybe even an armory behind this, but we only have 2 Hellions, so this is enough to be safe early on. This is enough to sell a little bit of misinformation as well, but it won't really be that impactful when it comes to the push. Very interesting variation.
Yeah, he is still getting stim initially, so I guess these 2 Hellions are just to give him a little bit of a map presence. Worst comes to worst, you can use it to, I don't know, defend if there was a link flood coming his way.
Yeah. So I guess, again, really safe. It makes sense because he's up against Dark, and Dark is a very aggressive Zerg player. This game, he has opted not to go for an early Roach Warren or any kind of early aggression, though. He is just droning up pretty happily and even working up towards his 4th hatchery.
Yeah, he is more than willing to give Cure his side of the map and just focus on his own side of the map for the time being.
Yeah, and looking at the vision here of Dark, the Hellions did reveal themselves. He hasn't gone into the main base yet, and Dark is continuing to drone, by the way. He could arguably... oh god, he's over-droning quite heavily, so this is gonna catch him by surprise.
I just foresee so many drones going down. What does Dark have to defend right now? About 8 queens. If they get in position, they'd be decent, but he only has 3 lings. Let me repeat that for you. 3.
Yeah, like Dark thinks he's up against a 1-1-1. He thinks he only has to worry about things in the air or Hellion. So here we go. We'll see if Cure can take advantage of the situation where we only have queens to defend for Dark.
And there's not a lot of energy on these queens either. I think there's 1 transfuse available for Dark, if that. So much creep is going to get cleared up.
Yeah,
Dark is not quite supply blocked yet.
I mean, this is buying a little time for Dark. He brings every single queen over to defend. We have 24 lings in production right now, and that window that we were talking about, that potential for damage, is closing. Cure doesn't go for it. I do feel like if he was a little bit more, just a little bit more aggressive, if he was a little bit more ambitious, I do think there was a lot of potential there.
Yeah, he could have killed a couple of queens maybe, or even slipped behind the mineral line, but of course, it would have been a pretty big risk, especially since Cure doesn't know what we know. He didn't know that Dark only had 3 lings backing this all up, so he did instead go for the old conventional wisdom of Terran, prioritizing keeping his units alive.
Yeah, like he went for a safer play, a safer option, a safer form of aggression, which I fully understand. But unfortunately, that means that Dark got away with all that droning. He's up to 71 workers now. He can work on a 5th base. Like, the scary moment for Dark is kind of over.
His infestation pit just finished up, and we're not even 7 minutes in the game.
Oh, he can go for it very fast. There we go. A hive is already on the way. We have 2 more macro hatches as well. The creep spread's not looking too bad. A lot of it was cleaned up on the right-hand side, but Dark, because of all these queens, he is rebuilding it. So... yeah, he is stabilizing. Cure, though, bearing in mind that he didn't lose a lot in his push. He saved a lot of his Marines from the early game.
He did, and now he's got a couple of tanks. He's getting ready for round 2. Able to clean up, shave off a little bit of the baneling count here of Dark. And I'll see if he can push it all the way.
Yeah, at the same time, we do have a little bit of a ling run by here across the map, but the defenses are looking good enough. Cure is pushing on in. This time, though, we have Banelings to defend. We have Baneling speed. The tanks do get in a really good position behind this cliff face. Do force a cancel on that 5th.
Like so. These tanks actually cover a lot. Wow.
Oh, yeah, this is a disgusting position. Oh my god.
And just like that, yeah, we can see how well Cure's able to utilize it. A couple of queens are going down. Just 1 Marine getting caught in...
Get out of there, Papi.
Caught in all that, yeah.
Not like this, but yeah, a couple of queens do go down, cancels the 5th. At the same time, Dark morphs in some Banelings across the map. He wants to go for a more committed run by instead. The Banelings are headed towards the mineral line.
And with all those tanks across the map, there's not a whole lot here to defend. Cure reacts just a second too late and loses his entire mineral line to the Banelings.
Ooh, and now he is that much more committed with his aggression. He's going for a double drop into the main base. At the same time, his main army is trying to push in towards that 4th, but all Dark has to do is defend.
But can he? Because again, this is an absolutely disgusting position to have those tanks siege up in.
Yeah,
base will go down.
Yeah, Dark, he evacuates the 4th base. Oh, the infestation pit is here as well, so a little bit of tech is going to be going down. Not bad damage here for Cure, but he wasn't able to equalize the economic damage. Dark is expanding towards the north. He's taking another 4th base. Has a lot of patience here to not try and rush and break this tank position. He does give him a lot of respect.
Yeah. But that's respect that he can really afford to give right now, because while it's true that the infestation pit went down, Dark already finished his hive. In fact, he's researching kindness plating on his ultra cabin right now. He's still producing vipers. Losing the infestation pit at this point isn't the biggest of deals.
It really is not. Meanwhile, we do see another drop towards the northern portion of the map as well. Mainly links to defense, so Cure can trade pretty efficiently, but he just doesn't have the numbers. He's forced to pick up once again. He's transitioning into Bio Mine. Drilling Claws is on the way, which is great. But I worry once those ultras come out.
Yeah. And they're smaller now, too. Which means that they're more, aerodynamic, question mark?
I actually don't know if we're on the new patch right now, because we saw the numbers for the workers killed.
So game hard.
Yeah. So they may not have picked that mud.
We'll see when the ultras come out. We'll see what size, how chunky
we'll
they
bring
are.
out like a ruler, a tape measure. Yeah. We'll check their waist size.
We'll just like go around their legs a little bit.
What? Excuse me?
You know, with the measuring tape.
Yeah.
Go around the thighs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I gotta check them thighs, mate. As we do see once again Cure denying that base towards the south here. He's been doing quite well, just keeping Dark on a low base count.
And that would be great for any other Zerg player out there. But against Dark specifically, this is where he thrives.
Yeah, mate. He doesn't He doesn't want no drones, mate. But Cure is actually expanding. He's taking a 4th CC. He's slowly been able to recover his worker count, the workers that he lost so many of earlier. But as you were saying, Dark is just so far ahead in the tech. He has ultras finally coming out.
I'm just staring at the eggs right now, like, or the cocoon, sorry. I just really want to see if we're on the new patch.
Show us your ultra dong, as yeah, I do think that they didn't quite select that mud for the time.
They're smaller.
Oh, they are. Oh my god, they're so cute. They're tiny. Oh my god. Oh, let's go. Look at it.
Smaller elephants.
Yeah. See,
I didn't even notice there was an item.
How could you be afraid of that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I guess this means that they did patch the balance patch the balance test mod with GameHard.
Yeah, shout out to ESL for running that through, because that is something that we really did lack in DreamHack EU. Well, sorry, ESL EU.
They ran it through in like the hour in between the EU and NA. That's really proactive. We appreciate it.
It is. Massive shout out to ESL, as we do see Cure once again laying siege here towards the north. Widowmine shot is gonna get dragged though. We do have another Widowmine behind this.
Ooh! And the Widowmine shot will take out not just the Lings, but also a medevac. Meanwhile, they barely tickle these Ultralists.
Yeah, exactly. We've gotten here towards the late game, 3-3 on the way for both players. We're going to have a timing here where Cure does have an upgrade advantage. These Ultras, again, they are smaller, which means we can get a little bit better surface area. They do have a much easier time microing and actually engaging these armies. Parasitic Bomb forces the pickup here on the left-hand side.
They don't bump into each other as much.
Yeah, they suck it in.
Yeah.
Oh my god. As Dark has been able to stabilize for a long time, he was stuck on 4 hatcheries, on sometimes even 3 hatcheries, but he's been able to double expand. He has a lot more breathing room thanks to these Vipers and thanks to these Ultras. He finally has a way to force Cure back. Cure is desperately trying to clean up some of this creep. Oh my god, Woodmine shot, gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, it takes out a lot of the Ling and the Baneling buffer, but again, the core units are still very much in play. I'm wondering what happened to that Viper. I know Dark was making 1 Viper.
Yeah, he's still got a couple more Vipers in the back line as well. We do see, oh yeah, Cure is still trying to transition. He does have Ghosts on the way, which will help. They have been changed, of course, but regardless, they're still going to do quite well against these Ultras.
Yeah. I'm starting to worry, though, that Cure might be tunnel visioning a little bit when it comes to his unit composition. Having the Ghost Academy is pretty good, but he will have to clear up a little bit of supply to get those ghosts. He also doesn't have Liberators at the moment, which isn't essential, but would be a nice addition.
That's the thing.
Ultras.
Yeah, Lib Ghost is kind of what you want to be going for in this scenario, and Kira just doesn't have the time to transition right now. Here we go. Dark, he's pulling the trigger. He's sending everything here towards the top portion of the map. The Ling Bane rolls on forward. The Vipers aren't even necessary.
That they aren't, but you know what? The SimCity of Cure is actually looking pretty dang fantastic. Forcing all of these units into a bit of a choke point. The Ultras go down. A lot of Ling, or rather a lot of SCVs and that base will go down as well, but Dark has bled out a lot of units to achieve that.
He did bleed out a little units. He had a really interesting kind of way to use those Vipers. He actually basically reset the medevac count. He only used them for parasitic bombs, which I thought was quite smart. Kira wasn't really too quick to split up his medevacs, and Dark is remaxing with pure Ling Bane.
Yeah, that's all he really needs at this moment. He just needs speed. He just needs to be able to connect his units on top of this bio army. Again, not too many tanks left.
Not at all. There's one tank with the main army, a couple of Widow Mines as well. I do think that Dark is going to be looking to come in from multiple angles and just go for a mass surround right now. I think we have to rely a lot on these Widow Mine shots and how good they're going to be.
And that's never something you want to really rely on. Good Blinding Cloud on that tank. Dark is coming in from every single angle, and he still has army to spare.
Oh my god, the Banelings do find the connections. A lot of ghosts are going to be going down. This force towards the south does survive, but the CC goes down.
And the CC goes down, as does the other CC, and 20 more SCVs. Dark has about quadruple, or even more than quadruple, the mining income right now of Cure.
Yeah, Cure, he just doesn't have any breathing room. In every single one of these fights, he's losing so many gas-intensive units. He's really struggling to rebuild and remax. Looking at the units tab, he's down to only 2 ghosts. He hasn't had the opportunity to really snipe. I mean, there's nothing to snipe because it's just Ling Bane. He's really having a hard time keeping up with the composition transitions that that Dark is going for.
Yeah, he really is. And, you know, the fact that he doesn't have much of an economy is hurting him that much more, because like you said, he needs to be able to be flexible when it comes to his unit composition. Dark is, you gotta throw him curveball after curveball, but he just can't.
Yeah, exactly. And on top of that, a lot of supply was stuck in the main base as well to deal with the Niduses. The Niduses have never really done anything other than, of course, just keeping the attention of Cure split up throughout all of his bases. Here we go once again. Dark is coming on in. Would you have a pretty nice spread here for Cure?
Every single angle, but the Blinding Clouds are doing so much to zone these away, as are the parasitic bombs.
Yeah.
Cure's just lost so much bio here, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to recover after this. Look at the mineral bank, or lack thereof.
If there is no bank, Papi, it's all gone. In the end, it looks like Dark is going to be losing his army, but again, he has literally every single hatchery on the map. Every other hatchery on the map. Doesn't have them saturated, but has them nonetheless. He has so much lava to work with. He has a massive bank to work with as well. He can just keep remaxing.
And that's exactly what he's doing right now. Literally 200 supply on Lings, Ultras, and Banelings.
And there we go. GG gets called. Cure doesn't even go for a final fight. He taps on out.
GG. A very classic Dark style coming out here. Ling Bane straight into Ultras. And he did it so much quicker this time as well, just because he was able to snowball and get such a huge economic advantage after he overdroned in the early game.
Exactly. You know, Dark, he got away with murder in the early game, and Cure wasn't able to catch him out. He wasn't able to stop him there, and that kind of gave Dark a massive economic launching pad to just get into the mid game. We saw Cure doing some decent damage with his like tank positionings, if you remember, at the southern base. Like he was killing hatcheries, don't get us wrong, but he wasn't able to do much more than that.
Yeah, he really wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I want to say that he tunnel visioned a little bit on that position, but he really didn't, in all honesty. It was just that he didn't have enough of an army, or good enough of an army, to threaten other positions. He had... The only thing he could do was abuse that disgusting tank position. And Dark didn't even care about that. He just took every other map, or every other base that he could on the map.
Pretty much. I mean, A lot of it also came down to, if you remember that Ling Bane run by from Dark, where he killed every single SV at the third base. And I mean, sure, Cure was able to recover, but in the period where he had to rebuild all those SCVs, like, you know, that's a period where he's not focusing on his army production, on his tech as well. Like, he gets slowed down in other ways, and that was just something else to just give Dark so much control and so much freedom.
Yeah, really did. I have this image in my head right now of Dark committing a murder and Cure being unable to convict him.
Yeah, he's in the interrogation room. He's like, I know you did it. I know you killed them. And then Dark's like, mate, prove it. Where's the murder weapon, mate? You can't figure it out. Oh my god. I was thinking that as well. That was in my mind.
You gotta get Max Angel on the case there. It's like, I just can't find the evidence, Mayor Cure. Cure's like, damn it, Max Angel. I have to acquit him now.
Oh my god. One day we'll make the Max Angel Netflix series. It'll be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh boy. But here we go. We are continuing. We didn't even have a Protoss here, by the way. We somehow always bring it back down to Australia. We bring it back down to rain.
Oh. We bless the rain down in Australia. Anyway, we are going to be continuing our series now on Stargazers. Got it right this time. We're in the top right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in that top right-hand corner. We have our blue Zerg player coming out from the land of Korea, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, DPG. And also apparently the Gosu crew, I think is what that clan tag is. He is Dark.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Stargazers, we have his opponent, the South Korean Terran player representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming. It is Cure.
Oh my. Whew.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, we did get to see the late game TVZ. We did get to see those lovely small ultras as well, but I don't think that was really what swayed things in Dark's favor. Like, he was already in such a good position getting into the late game.
Yeah, TVZ, more so than any other matchup, I think, is probably... It's funny to think about, but in the current meta, TVZ is the most momentum-based matchup out there. Other than if you go for Blink Stalkers and PvT, but even then, that's, you know, very much dependent on very much choice or stylistic, right?
Yeah, like, if the Zerg player is allowed to be greedy and drone heavily at a certain point when they shouldn't be able to, then, you know, that lead is really difficult to surpass and surmount. We were kind of touching on it, but Cure, he never really was able to deal too much economic damage. He was never able to, like, slow down or hinder that work account of Dark.
Exactly. If the Zerg player gets an economic lead early on, it's really, really huge. Likewise, you know, if the Terran player is aggressive early on and is able to contain the Zerg player, it's very difficult to break out of a situation like that. And we kind of just saw that dynamic really play out in game number 1.
Yeah, we really did, and we'll see how things are changed and how the players do adapt in game number 2. So far, the Reaper just being a little bit annoying, but does go down to the Queen. Cure being a little bit careless there.
Yeah, a little bit tilted. After that last game, his spirit was completely broken.
Yeah, losing the Reaper like that is dangerous, especially when you're up against Dark, because at any moment Dark can pull back into gas and you can throw down a Roach Warren and you're not going to have any scouting information. So thankfully that isn't really happening, but Cure, I'm sure that is in the back of his mind, the fact that he is that much more in the dark.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark, while not quite the same level as somebody like, say, I don't know, Mio Micah, for instance, of sheer unpredictability, he is a player who loves to keep his opponents guessing. He loves to play those mind games, which is what I'm hoping Cure doesn't fall into. Or rather, is a trap that Cure doesn't fall into.
I mean, you say that, but we have a rich one on the way.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like Dark, if he sees that, he'll just pull back into gas, he'll throw down a roach warren, and this isn't a bad map to pull this out on. The rush distance, you know, is pretty decent between our two players here, but these roach pushes can be disastrous. Cure, meanwhile, did go for a third CC before Starport, on location for the most part here in the pocket, so he's being quite greedy, which is quite common in this matchup. But Cure, oh my god, I don't know if I like this, mate. He's going for a Hellbat push.
He is. He really is. Now, he is getting concussive shell marauders, which can definitely help him out against a small number of roaches. But 7 of them, 8 of them are now on the way, especially if Dark is able to meet Cure in the middle of the map. I think this is just a build or to win here for Dark.
Yeah, thankfully this is like, there are different variations of Hellbat pushes, and I think this is the best option for Cure just because of those concussive shell marauders, because Hellbats do nothing against roaches. they just fall over and die. So there is going to be a little bit of potential here for Cure, but I worry because if the fight just goes too poorly, Dark is just going to counterattack immediately, and I don't know how Cure is going to be able to defend.
Yeah, as we can already see, Dark is avoiding the Hellions that are on the map right now. Man, Ravagers are coming out.
He's link flooding behind it as well. Dark, he's done droning. 39 drones is all he needs. We do see Cure moving out with his Marauders. He does finally confirm the roaches.
And a fight in the middle of the map, you know, with all of the Hellions and all of the Marauders in position, can definitely go well here for Cure, but Dark is starting to get a bit of a concave. The Ravagers... I mean, the Ravagers are going to be able to tank a lot of Marauder shots, honestly.
Yeah, I think this is kind of best case scenario here for Cure. He does focus on one of the Ravagers, but there are just so many more reinforcements. Cure is being cleaned up, and like back at home, he doesn't have anything. Like because he's been spending all of his factory production on Hellions, he doesn't have any defensive tanks. He has a Liberator, which is nice, but we have Ravagers.
Yeah, it's like it was best case scenario here for Cure, but everything else just went in Dark's favor. He was able to tank the Hellbat shot, or tank the Hellbat volleys with his roaches, kill the Marauders with his Lings, and now I just don't see a way for Cure to defend, especially on a map like Stargazers. 14 more Lings are on the way, gonna be zooming across the map, and that should just about be the final nail in the coffin.
There
GG is called. Dark takes that series 2-0.
GG, well played. Very unlucky there for Cure. He didn't scout the Roach Warren. He assumed Dark was just droning up, was just, you know, having a regular game when he decided to go for that Marauder Hellbat push. Unfortunately, Dark was going for his own Roach Ravager aggression, and that just pairs up so much better. Like, Roach Ravagers just shut this down so hard, and yeah, the RNG just wasn't in Cure's favor there.
It really was, and RNGesus was not looking his way in that particular America's Cup.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really curious. I would love to like pick Dark's brain, because I know Cure is quite fond of Hellbat Marauder. These kind of pushes, they're not very all in. Like, there was a third CC behind it, you know, like it is kind of a macro build where you go in, it's very uncommitted, you kill queens. Mainly, you don't have to deal economic damage, but you force your opponent to make lings and respond, and you can transition from there. But because he does it so frequently, I have to wonder if Dark intentionally assumed that was going to happen, or if he just like threw caution to the wind. He's like, I'm just gonna do this anyway. We'll see what happens.
Knowing Dark, I would bet on the second part.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an opportunist when he can. If he smells even the slightest bit of opportunity, he will jump on it, and more often than not, he's able to just make full use of opportunities like that.
I was gonna say, more often than not, he doesn't even see the opportunity, he just decides to jump and Thankfully, there's something
And,
below him to catch him, you know?
yeah. Some players like to look for opportunities. Dark just somehow finds them.
He does. So GG, well played there to Dark to take that 2-0 victory over Cure. Very solid play, very dominant fashion there from Dark. And now Dark moves on to the grand finals, and he is waiting for his opponent here for either a Terran or a Protoss.
Indeed, he will, because we have another semifinals on our hands here. It is going to be MaxPax versus Beyond coming in here.
There you go, MaxPax versus Beyond. I feel like MaxPax has had, like, I don't know if this is his best matchup, but if it is, then he's gotten quite lucky here, because he has been just tearing through Terrans left and right today. For this day, he took down Clem, he took down Gumiho without dropping a single map.